Good morning.
Ah, much better.
Yeah, I'm sitting at my computer like a scrub. Oh my god. I am not a morning person.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, that's more than enough time for anybody that wants to join. Hey, Josh, good morning. Raman, we actually got somebody here from the beginning today.
Yay.
Yay, Joshua showed up.
Good morning, Joshua.
Oh, man. You know, I spend money on cookbooks. And a lot of times I get disappointed because I'll go through this cookbook and find that well over half of first of all, well over half the pages are just pictures. No recipes, just pictures. Or when I went here and I met these people, and this, a biography of how he found this, the author of this cookbook found this recipe. And, I don't care. I don't care about the background. Give me a picture of what it looks like. Oh, okay, great. Good news, Josh. That's fantastic. Give me a picture of what the end result's supposed to look like and give me the recipe. If you've got room for your little background story, that's fine. But don't take up one page for the picture, one page for your biography and background, and then a half a page for the recipe.
Right.
That you're wasting paper, you're wasting book, and I don't want it.
There. Don't do that.
You've made the book more expensive than it needs to be.
Right.
Well, I did buy, but I still buy the cookbooks.
Right.
And I bought one online because, as everybody knows, I grew up in a farming community very close to a very large Amish community in Ohio. Very, very large Amish community.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things that we would go and buy in this Amish community that, I just sort of miss. And, straight rhubarb jelly. I miss, their rhubarb jelly or rhubarb jam. Not strawberry rhubarb or apple rhubarb or blueberry rhubarb, just rhubarb. Well, so I bought this cookbook, and the very first recipe in it is a white bread sandwich recipe. Sandwich bread recipe. And I'm looking through it, and it's got, the usual standard ingredients. And then I see it calls for shortening. And it's like, oh, it's been a long time since I've seen a recipe actually call for Crisco. Do I have any Crisco in the house? No. I've got lard. I've got vegetable oil, olive oil, canola oil. I've got my bacon grease. I've got homemade butter, salted homemade butter, unsalted store bought salted and unsalted butter. I've got all this stuff, but do I have any Crisco? No. So I go online to see what suitable subs are because I'm not going to make it to the store. I'm not going to go to the store. I'm not feeling the strength to make it to the store and back. Not just for a can of Crisco.
Okay.
All right. So I go online. What are suitable substitutes? And is it vegetable oils a suitable sub? Okay, great. Butter is also a suitable sub. Bacon grease is a suitable sub. Lard is even a suitable sub.
Yeah.
Right? But vegetable oil was listed higher on the list, so that's why I used it. Hey, Neil. Good morning. So I went ahead and I'd gotten some new Pullman bread pans in. And a Pullman bread pan, Pullman cars from the 1930s and such, railroad cars. And these were bread pans designed specifically for use on the railroad cars. And I got a couple of those in. I decided to try use those because I hadn't used them yet. The bread rose great, everything. Nice, sharp, square edges, top or on the sides and on the bottom. Perfect from these new pans. Absolutely wonderful. But the bread doesn't brown in the pan because, obviously it's not going to brown because the bread itself isn't getting any heat. The outside's not getting any heat that the inside's not getting because of the bread pan being enclosed. So I pull it out and it's like, oh man, this, just looks like white dough, hard white dough. Hey, here comes egg wash. Egg wash it, put it back in the oven. It's not browning. It's getting a little bit overcooked. So it's like, damn. What do? Okay, let me put it in the air fryer. So I take it out of the oven, put it in the air fryer. That stuff browns up, looks beautiful. So it's like, okay, great. Now we're having spaghetti for supper, and the wife forgot to buy garlic bread to go with the spaghetti. That's all right. I've got this new bread here that I've just baked for the first time ever. And, let me give this stuff a shot. And I do have some garlic butter. I'll put some garlic butter on it. I'll toast the bread, put some garlic butter on it, and we'll go from there. I could slice this bread as thin as you could want to slice it, actually thinner than sandwich loaf bread that you store bought. And it held up. I'm like, ooh, I like this. Then toasted it up, put the garlic butter on. Turned out great. So I've got a new bread. I've got a sandwich loaf recipe that I like and the wife liked. So, and I will post that recipe on my Discord. The only time I ever use the Discord is post any new recipes that I recommend. So, if anybody's interested in the Discord in the recipe, go over to my Discord, and I'll be glad that you can download the recipe from over there. Because Ramen, you've downloaded quite a few of my recipes from there, haven't you?
From the Discord, yeah.
Yeah, from the Discord. So, when I get this thing out of the book now in January. You've heard me talk about this woman before. Her name's Poppy out of England. And she does she specializes in ways to cook potatoes.
Oh, yeah, I like potatoes.
And right now, she's doing her 25 days of Christmas potato recipes.
Oh, no.
She does, these are on TikTok. But she's got a potato cookbook coming out in January, and I pre-ordered it yesterday. So I'm looking forward to that. This woman, she's got a 15-hour potato recipe that is it just looks amazing. I'm going to make it one day. I swear I'm going to make it. It takes 15 hours from the time you start to the time it's ready to eat. Okay, speakers. Those are pretty nice little speakers. We used. The friend of mine had some in Germany, some KHLs, KLHs rather. So I had to, Josh, when my son was very young, I've got a set of Bose 601s and 301 speakers that I brought back with me from Germany. And my son got in there one day and he took off the cover and he started picking at the paper on the speaker. And for some reason, he managed to punch a hole in the paper. Well, then he started picking at it, and he picked the paper almost 3/4 of the way around, tore the paper off of the speaker. I got home from work that night, and the wife's sitting there going, "Now, don't get mad. Don't." As soon as I walk in the door, she goes, "Don't get mad. Don't get mad."
Right.
And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "Well, your son," and I went, "What did my son do?" "Well, you know your speaker that you got sitting there?" I said, "Yes." And I went down and I peeled the cover off of it and I saw that speaker and I almost cried. I was so mad I almost cried. And she took him and hid him back in his bedroom so I couldn't get my hands on him. But I sat down, and a trick I learned in Germany, which actually still, while it worked, and these speakers still work today, and my son's in his 30s now. I've had these speakers are over 35 years old. And you take single-ply toilet paper and fingernail polish, clear fingernail polish. And you patch the hole with that using the fingernail polish and then once you have the hole completely patched all the way around, you do all that toilet paper with the clear fingernail polish to make it hard. Now it's good for normal playing. You can't use it for, really super loud volume, because then it gets a little fuzzy. But just to listen, like to Christmas music or something like that, at a normal tone, normal volume, it works quite well. It really does. It works quite well. And like I said, I'm still using that speaker today. And let's see here. And HAGA. So so that works. If you've got a speaker that's been damaged, the actual paper damaged, then that's the way you can fix it. And it works well. Okay, I'm going to assume that everybody saw my my thumbnail for today.
No.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, I got sort of a late start on this today. So let me do a quick import here of some pictures. And let's see here. Da, 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 da. Okay. We all know what the Trump's Time magazine made Trump the person of the year, right?
Oh, fucking A.
And that I mean, we were all really, I mean, most of us were pretty happy about that. While the Metro in the UK, it's going, they're going to also talk about it. And I'm pulling up the pictures now. And there we go. Yes, there. And then I got one more I need to pull up. All right, so we all saw what Biden or what Trump, what the Times Magazine actually had for their Person of the Year. All right, where am I at? Here we go. Well, the Metro in the UK, this is what they decided they were going to show. And while it's not necessarily a lie, because those four individuals were at one time, back in the day, that was called Man of the Year, not person. Time Magazine got a little wokish a while back. So Donald Trump joins exclusive club enjoyed by Hitler, Stalin, Khrushchev, and Khomeini. That really throws a very negative view on this club because, I mean, let's face it, none of those four other people are exactly role models for what you'd want in a leader, a country's leader. But come on, you stupid! Sometimes I hate my computer.
Okay.
All right, but when Biden and Kamala in 2020 were named Times Person of the Year, there was no mentioning of anybody else, good or bad, who'd also been named Person of the Year. And remember, Time Magazine, they when they got called on the carpet for having some of their people there as Person of the Year, they've gone with the saying, well, these are people that have had great effects on the world. They affected humanity in one way or another. So, and then when Obama was named Person of the Year, once again, there's no mentioning of anybody evil or anybody good either. They weren't making him part of a club. It was, yes, Obama, Person of the Year. He's a great man. He is the best person on the planet today. Biden and Kamala, this is the team. They are the team of the year. Nobody else even worthy being mentioned with them. Trump, him and Hitler and Khrushchev and Stalin and Khomeini, we're going to make them all the same. It would be great to actually have an honest media for a change. One that wasn't so damn biased. So 2x12, 315 dual. Wow. Was Oprah Person of the Year? That wouldn't surprise me. I mean, they had Greta Thunberg as a Person of the Year.
Yeah.
But it's. And then Time Magazine. Okay, they back in March. All right, and by March, we already knew Trump was running for president.
Right.
Okay. Well, Raman, I don't know what you're beating up against your mic, but it sounds horrible.
That's a really bad way to put it. No, I'm watching my boy bring the groceries in. Unfortunately, that took me toward my fan. I don't even know what that is. I didn't order that. What the hell is that?
I don't know, but it's sure beating up my ears.
I'm sorry. Is that better now?
Yeah, that's a lot better. So, and now it's back.
Sorry. I'm getting mad now. I'm sorry.
All right. So
how is it every time a lot of groceries, the store does not have freaking eggnog? Every time.
Don't have what?
Eggnog. There should not be an eggnog shortage here in the U.S. like this. It's no matter what store I order from either. I'm gonna get stuck making it. Watch. I've never made it.
My wife, she got mad because I went to Winn-Dixie and I picked us both up eggnog. I picked her up the regular eggnog, and I picked myself up my pumpkin eggnog.
Oh, that sounds so yummy.
Okay.
I saw pumpkin cheesecake and ordered it, and they were out of it when I ordered it, even though it was on my list and in the store.
Well, she drank all her eggnog right up. I've still got some of my pumpkin eggnog left. She went to do her Walmart grocery order, and they were out of eggnog. No. She's so mad. So when I go down to Winn-Dixie today, I'm going to surprise her and pick her up some regular eggnog if they got any. But anyway, back in March, the Times, Trump's running. And Time Magazine decides that they're going to go out and do a survey of elected officials in the House and Senate. Only them. Should any American president be able to launch a preemptive nuclear attack without congressional approval? And should any American president be able to launch a nuclear attack without congressional approval in response to an enemy's incoming nuclear attack? They didn't do this when Biden, 2 years earlier, when it was obvious Biden was in mental decline. It was no longer amongst anybody but the political elites. It was no longer a doubt. And the question is, should Biden should somebody with obvious dementia be in charge of our nuclear weaponry?
No. Oh my God, no.
Okay, like Biden has been.
No.
No, when it looks like when Trump is running for office, now all of a sudden this is a survey that has to be taken. Now I will give time.
Decline. I mean,
I will say I will give time this much credit. Okay, this survey is part of a series of nuclear war articles, opinion articles that they've been writing for the past couple of years. Okay. But I just find it coincidental that when Trump's running for office, all of a sudden now they're going to ask this question, or these two questions, rather. Close that, get out of my way. Oh, and the third question, I'm sorry. Please give us an answer on a scale 1 to 4. How comfortable are you with the fact that President Trump has this unilateral authority? 1, very comfortable. 4, not comfortable.
Very comfortable.
Okay.
He's the most normal politician I've ever seen.
They didn't say, how about another one here? How comfortable were you with the fact that Biden has had this unilateral authority?
Biden? No. That's fucking scary.
Okay. Congress answered. Republicans who answered. Not many people answered these questions. Katie Britt of Alabama. Trump has achieved peace through strength his first term. I'm confident he'll do it again. Ricks, Republican of Nebraska. For 4 years, Biden gave people every reason to question whether he is physically, mentally capable to be president. Yet the Times not once asked if anybody was comfortable with his control of the nuclear arsenal. The American people just delivered a mandate to President Trump, entrusting him to keep our nation safe. That speaks for itself. Jeff Van Drew, the guy that we had on that was saying that the drones were coming from an Iranian mothership, had him on the show yesterday. A preemptive nuclear attack should require congressional approval. Yes, any American president should be able to launch a nuclear attack without congressional approval in response. I'm very comfortable that Trump has this unilateral authority. The problem with A that I see here, if a president were to go to Congress and ask for a congressional approval for a preemptive nuclear attack, there would be somebody from either one of the parties that would get that out to the press. That President so-and-so, I'm not going to throw a name in here because it could be a president from either party, not just Trump or Biden, but from any president, for some stupid reason. And I can't think of a reason as to why a president would want to do a preemptive nuclear attack. I can't think of any reason. There may be one out there, but I can't think of it I've been able to think of one this morning. But there would still be somebody from either party or both parties that would leak that out. It would get out to the press immediately, within minutes of the president asking for the congressional approval. There would be no secrecy involved in that whatsoever. And something like that, where a president's wanting to do let's face it, a preemptive nuclear attack. And, at this point, it would be Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, Syria. But I seriously doubt they'd strike the Middle East, because if they struck the Middle East, that would absolutely
fucking destroyed.
That would destroy so much of the world's oil supplies, and I mean the fallout and everything would be more than just that one country. That attack would the casualty list from every country in that region.
You wouldn't be able to be neutral in that circumstance.
No, and as well as like the damage to the Mediterranean Sea, the Persian Gulf. So as much as many of us have said in the past, let's turn Iran into a sheet of glass. We really do. We really don't.
But interesting.
We really don't want to do that, because the devastating long-term effects far outweigh whatever benefit. Anyway, Marsha Blackburn embedded Senator Mike Lee's ex post in her response. Base Mike Lee, completely agree with you. Bad faith fear mongering about a Trump presidency won't fly. And that's what this whole thing is. Fear mongering about Trump having his finger on the nuclear button. Senator Mike Lee, Republican of Utah, posted, feel free to include this in your reporting. It isn't 2017 anymore. Bad faith fear mongering about a Trump presidency won't fly. Mentally unfit Joe Biden commands our nukes now. He's just authorized American missiles to kill people within Russia, a nuclear superpower. That's where he authorized the long-range Ukraine to use our long-range missiles that we sold them or gave them. We gave them the money to buy them from us. Make that make sense.
Right.
On a scale of 1 to 4, how comfortable are you? Now, the Democrats, Senator Coons, Democrat of Delaware, no, there should be statutory limits on restricting first use nuclear strikes. Okay, laws, statutory limits. Okay, what are you going to do to a president? You're going to impeach a president? What good would impeaching a president after he used the nukes? We're now in a war. Impeaching the president is not going to do us any good. We're going, the other country's not going to sit there and say, oh, okay, you got rid of him, so we're not going to attack you back. By the time they got around to impeaching the president, we've already been struck back multiple times by whichever country the nuclear weapons were used against. So, this idea by making statutory limits To me, that's just sitting there and saying, yeah, okay. We're going to hit him with 60 lashes with a wet noodle. Please don't hit us back. Yes, if the United States ever faces an imminent nuclear attack, time will be of the essence in determining a response. While I'm inclined to provide as much congressional oversight as possible, it's not realistic to expect any president to wait for congressional approval in this scenario. That is a well thought out response to that question. I agree 100%. But then he's not comfortable at all with Trump having that. Duckworth. Tammy Duckworth, she is a really interesting individual. She confuses the hell out of me how she comes up with some of her positions. She's not necessarily sometimes the smartest person in the room. Okay, I'm taking a quick look here at chat because I've been over on the other page there. All right. The question of should a commander-in-chief be able to launch a preemptive nuclear attack without congressional approval requires context on unique facts and circumstances of the situation, including how does one define preemptive? For example, if an adversary began process preparing to launch a nuclear weapon, would the United States have to wait until the ballistic missile was in the air or hits a target upon entering, where military action would not be considered preemptive? The question is extremely important and extremely complicated. One-word answers fail to reflect that reality. Thank you. This is why I'm saying she confuses me sometimes. Tammy, that is a well thought out response. And it's one I agree with 100%. Because remember, Congress doesn't have everything, all the knowledge that the president has. They only have what the president tells them, gives them.
Right.
In a lot of cases. And if the president gets word that, again, let's go with Iran here, that Iran was getting ready to launch missiles at such and such a time, should the president be able to preemptively strike?
Uh-huh.
And is it actually a preemptive strike? They're getting ready to launch, so is it a preemptive strike? That would be like saying the guy, the bully sitting next to you in a bar draws his fist back. Do you wait until he hits you before you hit him back? Before you hit him? Or
man.
because he's drawn, or are you drawing your fist, or do you hit him before he has a chance to hit you because he's already indicated that he's about to hit you? Because he drew his fist back. I would be so happy
to pull out my pepper spray. Be like, that's why I have pepper spray, motherfucker. That's it.
Yeah. Well, but is that a preemptive use of your pepper spray?
Could be.
Or is that the guy's drawn his? So this is why I'm saying Tammy actually gave a good answer here, and it's one that unfortunately I don't think enough people are going to give enough thought to. The The President's Article 2, Commander-in-Chief authorizes such actions. That constitutional authority does not vary depending on the specific individual. Very good. Perfect answer. But she is extremely uncomfortable. So, the Democrats actually feel that Trump is a loose cannon, despite the fact he's already had 4 years in the presidency. And he actually stopped an attack, a retributive attack, because there would have been civilians hurt. More civilians would have been hurt than the military would have been hurt. And because of the potential for civilian casualties or civilian injuries, this was after I can't remember which country it was, but somebody attacked our drones.
Okay.
And Trump they were weighing the options of going after the facility that contained those people with their equipment that they used to attack our drones. Well, Trump said, no, it's not worth it. The civilian casualties, injuries would not make this worth it to us. So if Trump was actually off over the hinge, off the rails type guy, he wouldn't have done that.
Okay.
But to me, this is the case of the Democrats believing their own lies. Chris Holland of Maryland, no president should be required to get congressional approval for initiating use. Again, Van Hollen, you didn't think this out. You didn't think the question out. Duckworth is the first one that actually thought the question out. Again, another Democrat who's not comfortable. But he says he's not comfortable giving any president unilateral authority to start a nuclear war. Well, it's only starting a war if you fire first.
Right.
Markey here, Democrat, and Markey, I gotta beat you up on this. No, the Constitution grants Congress sole power to declare a war. First use nuclear strike would be an act of war without congressional approval, would be unconstitutional. Such a strike would be immoral, disproportionate, and something our Constitution makes clear no single person should be able to do alone. No first use policy should be the law of the land. Since 2015, Ted Lieu and I introduced restricting the first use of Nuclear Weapons Act because no president or a single individual should have the power to launch a first-use nuclear strike without explicit congressional approval. Nuclear weapons are an existential threat to humankind, no matter what administration's in the White House. All right, at least he's being overbroad here and saying no president of any political party should have this authority to do preemptive strike. But once again, let's refer back to Tammy Duckworth's response. All right, or how I simplified it down. You've got somebody drawing their fist back. You got a country over there prepping their missiles to launch. Is it at that time a preemptive strike? You got somebody drawing their fist back, or they're reaching down, pulling their gun out to shoot you, but you get yours out first, or you're quicker, you shoot first. Did you preemptively strike, or did you strike in response to their actions? Are you really the bad guy because you did that? I would, that's a moral question that you've got to answer when it comes to that. Are you truly the bad guy for that? I would say no, but that's just me. Is violent, okay? Again, no, to in response, the president shouldn't have. And we're going to go not scared. He is scared to death to trust Donald Trump with nuclear weapons. He already had control of the nuclear weapons once, and he didn't use them. He didn't even come close to using them. The Democrats are believing their own lies about Trump. Warren, no, not comfortable. Gillibrand, yes, and not comfortable. And Gillibrand, once again, Trump has already proven his temperament and judgment when it comes to this. So once again, the Democrats believe in their own lies. As you can see, a lot of Democrats responded to this. And I'm not going to cover all of them because it's all the same. Okay, I mean, when it boils right down to it, not a single one of them are comfortable with Trump. They. Well, if y'all want to read their actual responses, I'll go ahead and post the link to this article. There you go, right there. There's the link to it. And since it looks like it was too long for a single post, what I'll do is I'll also post it in the description later. I can't post it in the description now. It won't let me. I don't think it'll let me post change the description. And say, yep. Yep, it won't let me change it while I'm actually streaming. But so we'll stop that here. Let me catch up on the chat here. And if you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a nuke. Okay. That's that dodgeball movie.
I never saw that. Was it good?
I never saw it either, but that one scene is sort of infamous.
Okay.
Or if you're George Bush Jr. Sandal, yeah, I forgot about that. Well, if you're Reagan, you can dodge a bullet. Remember that?
Dodge a bullet.
Well, no. His first press conference when he came back.
Oh, okay.
Somebody popped a balloon, and he just stood there and has missed me. Ah. Now, did Trump dodge a bullet or not? Because it did nick his ear.
No.
The other bullets he dodged, but that first bullet did nick his ear, so he didn't quite dodge it. Okay, so let's see here. Trump gave a press conference yesterday. Guess how long his entire press conference was?
10 minutes?
10 minutes? No.
Well, he's usually pretty straightforward. It's not, am I close?
No, you're not even close.
Ah, come on. Out. You out.
Trump gave a 1 hour and 10-minute press conference yesterday. The first 25 minutes of it was him talking.
Oh my God.
Okay. So that leaves another half hour or more of him answering questions.
No.
We haven't had a press conference by a president in 4 years that's lasted that long.
Right. So what's happening?
I'm just saying, Biden couldn't do a 30-minute press conference of him just answering questions. And
Joe is too sleepy.
And questions that he doesn't know are coming. There are no pre-prepared questions. That he's got question A, ask this reporter, here's their question, here's your answer.
Right.
Pre-prepared questions.
Like that, he'd probably pick the wrong reporter and get something he wasn't prepared for. I'm sorry.
You're probably not wrong. But I'm going to play just a little bit of this presser. I didn't play. I've got this all the way past his stuff. Where he's just talking. Even though he had some good stuff in there. But
I just want to thank him. You're just an outstanding man. When you have that kind of brain power, wanting to invest in this country, and that's money that he can't invest elsewhere. So that's a big investment, but makes me feel very good. Makes me feel that we're absolutely on the right track. So thank you, Tomasa, and we'll take a couple of questions. Yeah, please, Jeff.
Oh, hell, that's my phone.
The average person sees around 10,000 online ads daily.
I got past all this stuff twice today.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to comment on the Putin question, but I will comment on Bibi. We had a very good talk. We discussed what is going to happen, and I'll be very available on January 20th, and we'll see. As you know, I gave warning that if these hostages aren't back home by that date, all hell's going to break out, and very strong.
This reminds me, the Carter Reagan. Remember, Tehran had taken over our embassy and holding our embassy staff hostage during the Carter years. We had the failed rescue attempt. Helicopters actually got destroyed attempting to, when they're setting up to go for the rescue attempt. Then on January 20th, as they're preparing to swear Reagan in, if I remember correctly, it was just as they were starting to swear Reagan in, they released all the hostages. They did not want them hostages in their hands once Reagan took office. And I believe that very shortly after Trump takes office, if Hamas and Gaza has got their act together and at least 2 working brain cells, the remaining Israeli hostages are going to be freed. So that's going to be a thing, I do believe. And I would personally put money down on it. Not a lot of money, because I don't have a lot of money. But I'd give dollars to. Well, I can't even say dollars donuts. Last time I bought a dozen donuts, it was $20.
Oh my God!
Went to Krispy Kreme to get their Christmas donuts. It was $20.
That's crazy.
For $12. I mean, Krispy Kreme donuts are good, but dang,
$20 good. Damn.
I thought when I worked there, I thought $8 for a dozen donuts was pricey as hell.
Right?
But $20 for a dozen donuts? Yeah.
No.
Okay. Half of them were filled donuts, but still.
Oh God, the filled ones are the best.
I hate to say it, but I love Krispy Kreme donuts. Those yeast raised donuts, I do love them.
For me, it'll always be Dunkin' though, because they got blueberry filled donuts.
Krispy Kreme had blueberry filled donuts.
Yeah, but
and they had a blueberry cake donut as well. They had a blueberry filled, a blueberry cake. I don't know if they still do, because like I said, that when I went in this year to get those donuts while my sister was here, that was the first time in at least 10 years that I'd stepped foot inside of a Krispy Kreme.
Oh man.
So it's like I went to Captain D's for lunch one day, and that was the first time in probably 5 years I'd eaten at Captain D's. But I felt I was wanting a fish sandwich, a good fish sandwich, and Captain D's has got a good fish sandwich for fast food.
Damn. Now you're making my mouth water, because I really want some codfish. Damn.
These were catfish that I got today. Catfish sandwiches. I like catfish. I don't care if it is farm raised. I still like catfish.
I have everything for codfish, man. That's my addiction. I can't. Since I was little.
But
Damn,
like I said,
every time I'm in the stream with you, I get so freaking hungry.
Do like I do. Eat before the stream.
Oh no, that's the effort, yo.
But like I said, I'm thinking back towards the Carter Reagan hostage time period. I think that's going to play out the same way here, I hope.
But we generally just discussed, I asked him, where are things? Mike Waltz they're doing a great job, by the way. Everybody is very happy. I think he's doing a fantastic job. But he was very much involved in the call. But it was a recap call more than anything else.
How do you plan to stop the ban on TikTok next month?
Who?
How do you plan to stop the ban on TikTok next month?
We'll take a look at TikTok. I have a warm spot.
I don't think he plans to stop the ban.
Well, he can't, because the ban takes place on the 19th of January, the day before he becomes president. Unless TikTok manages to get it before the Supreme Court. before then the ban automatic, in case, unless TikTok manages to do something between now and the 19th. On the 19th will be the dead day for it. And there's not a whole lot Trump could do because he's not president yet.
Right.
Won youth by 34 points. And there are those that say that TikTok has something to do with that. Now, Joe Rogan did, and some of the other people that were recommended by my son Barron, he knew names. I said, "Who is that? Tell me, who's that?" "Dad, you got to be kidding. I can't believe you don't know." And I did those interviews, and it was actually sort of cute. Do you want to know the truth? But we did.
I love the fact that he's given his son full credit here.
Is he preparing him?
For getting him out there on TikTok and Joe Rogan and other places. I just love the fact that, he's giving credit to his son, and he's not doing it in a snarky way. He's saying, hey, he's going, I've got no idea who these people are. Who are they?
Yeah.
Dad, come on. What do you mean you don't know? So that's I don't know. It just makes me feel good.
Okay.
It does. It makes me feel good that he's given his son credit for actively participating and doing something effective during his campaign. Because we know Trump's got a huge ego.
True. But he gets shit done. So, yeah, he can have that ego.
Right. Okay. But usually people with huge egos, they don't give credit out.
No.
To other people. Especially to their child.
He's not built like other Americans.
No, and this is one of the, I think, and this is why I like him. This is one of the reasons why I like the man.
Did him, and that had an impact. But TikTok had an impact, and so we're taking a look at it. But we won youth. Republicans are always 30 points down in youth. I don't know why, but we ended up finishing. There was one poll that showed us down about 30. We were 35 or 36 points up with young people. So I have a little bit of a warm spot in my heart, I'll be honest. Yes, President.
Are you entertaining the idea of preemptive strikes against Iran's nuclear facilities? Against Iran's nuclear facilities?
Well, I can tell you that. It's a wonderful question, but am I going to do preemptive strikes? Why would I say that? Can you imagine if I said yes or no? You'd say, that was strange that he answered that way. Am I going to do preemptive strikes on Iran? Is that a serious question? How could I answer a question like that? Say it.
In support of Israeli strikes on Iran.
How could I tell you a thing like that now? It's just so you don't talk about that before something may or may not happen. I don't want to insult you. I just think it's just not something that I would ever answer having to do with there or any other place in the world.
President Trump.
Nobody believes.
Again, and we go back to that Times article there. And did any of these people actually think to ask Biden or Harris any of these questions? Could you imagine Harris getting that question?
Oh God, no thanks. I've heard her questions enough. She sounds so fucking retarded. I don't know. We can't say retarded anymore. Shit. Whatever. That's how she sounds.
we will be unburdened by the burdens of our past by burdening those in the future with our burdens that we carry now.
Well, absolutely nothing the black can do with it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to do a little bit more of these questions here, but could you okay, in all seriousness, besides the fact that, this was I watched the press conference. I watched the whole thing, and I'm just wanting to give you guys a taste here of how he handled this. And such a difference between having Trump up there or anybody who can actually answer questions or refuse to answer a question and fire back to the reporter. What kind of dumbass question is that? You're asking me about war. Am I going to step into a war here? Nobody in their right mind is going to answer that question.
Right?
I believe there's a connection between vaccines and autism. Do you believe there's a link?
Well, I don't look right now. You have some very brilliant people looking at it. I had dinner the other night with the head of Pfizer, the head of Eli Lilly, and RFK, as you know, and Oz. And we had, and other people within the administration that are involved, medical. And we're looking to find, autism. So 30 years ago, I've heard numbers of like 1 in 200,000, 1 in 100,000. And now I'm hearing numbers of 1 in 100. So
well, part of that also too is the diagnosis for being autistic is being widened, to encapsulate more and more people because I'm now on the spectrum.
Yeah. People use that though as an excuse to say horrible things to other people and be like, you can't criticize me, I'm on the spectrum.
I've been accused of being OCD. I've been accused of having all kinds of mental issues. All right, because it's like my money. I face my money all the same way. Big bills in the back, small bills in the front.
Makes it easier to count out.
Okay. I don't care if it's in my wallet or in the cash drawer. My money is all faced. And it's all faced the same direction. I don't have the front, back, upside down, twisted around or anything else. And ugly money, I do my best to straighten out the ugly money. That money that somebody wadded up and put in their pocket or tucked into their bra. Women, you are disgusting what you do with your money, with how you carry your money.
Hey.
I'm
nothing wrong with bra money.
I don't care. You pull that money out of your bra or out of your panties, and I'm going to go grab a pair of gloves before I touch it.
Hey, that's your right too. I don't have the right to tell you, you can't do that. It's fine. I don't care.
I had women file complaints on me for doing that, but then you pulled that money out of your sweaty ass underneath your sweaty boob.
My boobs smell like roses. They are not sweaty.
Okay. But man, And I had a woman the other night at the hotel. She pulled her cell phone out of her bra.
I've done that.
She kept her cell phone in her bra. I'm like,
I have a magnificent crack that can support it, and it smells like roses. So y'all can just go to hell if you're judging me.
Now, unless she's got laying up against her nipple in vibrate mode, I don't know what. I mean, that's. Ugh.
It's pretty. You know what? You're more likely to get your purse snatched than your boob snatched. That's all I'm saying. Not my purse snatched. They almost dragged me all the way to the car. I wasn't letting it go.
My wife, she still carries her bag across her shoulder, cross body.
Uh-huh.
She won't carry a short-handled purse. She carries her long handled one.
That guy was trying to take my neck off, pulling it the other way.
And she carries it cross body.
Yeah. So,
but anyway, I think we'll be done here at this press conference. But just think here, he's answering at least 30 more minutes of questions that are coming out of, all of them are coming out of left field. He's got no idea what question is coming next.
Okay.
But he's standing there and he's taking them. And that is not something that you would expect to be done by Biden or Harris. Okay, what am I doing here? Okay. Oh, I forgot to close these tabs. That's all right. Let's see here. Now close that tab too, because it's too late for that one. Okay, here we go. The Inspector General released their January 6th report. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to share the media's response to it.
All right.
First. And let me put this back. Yeah, I moved a tab I shouldn't have moved. All right. This is an article by the AP. Fact Focus, Inspector General's January 6th report misrepresented as proof of an FBI setup. Okay. Social media users are misrepresenting a report released Thursday by the Justice Department Inspector General's office, falsely claiming is proof the FBI orchestrated the Capitol riot on January 6, 2021.
Oh, my.
Okay. All right. Now, remember, back during the hearings, once in the past 2 years, where they had Mayorkas and Ray, and I can never remember that other dickhead's name, the one that Obama wanted to be on the Supreme Court and ended up as Attorney General under Biden.
I don't remember now.
Somebody help me out there. Neil. Come on, Neil. What? All right, I've got to do this then. I don't want to do this, but I got to. I can never remember his name. Merrick Garland. I can never remember his name for some stupid reason. But Merrick Garland, right? So, and Christopher Wray, when they have them in front of them there, and they've asked them how many FBI agents were out there on January 6th in the crowd. And they all refused to answer. No, I don't know. I can't
know.
tell you. This is something we can't. I can't
They
answer
fucking know.
in this forum.
Yeah, you
All
can.
right.
Nothing's stopping you.
It was Merrick Garland there, Neil. Obama wanted him to be on the Supreme Court, and McConnell actually doing something right was ranking on the Supreme and the Senate, and never brought him up for a Senate vote, which was, McConnell actually did something right for a change. It's not very often he's done something right past few years. There were 26 FBI and FBI informants out there that day, 26 of them. Only 3 were there at the behest of the FBI.
The rest were all just volunteering. I don't.
The other 3 went on their own accord. They informed their handlers, hey, I'm going there. I'm going to go there and I'm going to get you information.
I want to get a bonus today, boss.
Yeah, I'm going up there and I'm going to do what I need to do. All right. Now we already know Ray Epps.
Oh boy, do we.
All right. We all know Ray Epps. Ray Epps is the one that the day before standing out there, we've got the video of him standing out there saying that they need to go into the Capitol, and everybody started yelling, chanting, Fed, Fed, Fed. And then that was on January 5th. On January 6th, he's standing there shouting the same nonsense. And they're right up there against the bicycle rack blockades that they put up, them little tiny things, waist high, look like bicycle racks. And he leans over and whispers something into the guy's ear in front of him. And 2 seconds later, that guy is pushing those racks open, and then Epps is cheering everybody to go on into the Capitol. It was at that point that the riot actually invaded the Capitol. So Ray Epps, and he went from a person of interest to non-existent to finally, after so much hell was raised about him, that he got a slap on the wrist. Don't forget, there were people held in solitary confinement for over a year before they ever got brought to trial.
And there's you can only be in solitary for give me my phone, please. You can only be in solitary for so many days before it's a violation of the Geneva Convention, I think. So I don't know. At least in prison, that's pretty much how it is. I don't know. I could be wrong.
So anyway, here's a closer look at the facts claim. December 24 report released by the DOJ Office of the Inspector General said there was a setup by the FBI. The facts are false. The report found no undercover FBI employees were at the riots, and none of the Bureau's informants were authorized to participate. Okay. They were not officially authorized to participate, but they did. These are FBI undercover, confidential informants, confidential human sources.
That's probably the only job where you could just go anywhere and wander around on your own and get fucking paid, man. Get me a job like that. Damn. I'm not on any list.
So,
I never learned.
Okay, now let's take a look at when I did the search on this morning. How the media portrays it here. Fact Focus, Inspector General, AP News. Fact Focus, Inspector General's January 6th report misrepresented as proof FBI setup. Washington Report. Washington Post. New January 6th report cites some FBI missteps for attack on Capitol. UPI. No FBI agents involved in inciting January 6th attack on Capitol. Yeah, no agents, but you know, they sort of, what about their people that work for them unpaid? Because these CIs don't get paid. Seattle Times, Inspector General's January 6th report is misrepresented proof of FBI setup. Horowitz at the Washington Examiner. January 6th report discredits theories about Ray Epps. Washington Post. Inspector General's January 6th report, Trump and grocery prices, Travis Timmerman. Okay. So let's go over to a couple of interviews here. All right. This is Fox News.
Great to have you this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
First, your reaction to the Inspector General report on January 6th.
Look, the Inspector General report confirms what a lot of us wondered for a long time and what we repeatedly questioned Christopher Wray and other FBI and DOJ officials about, which is whether, to what extent, there may have been government assets on the ground involved in what happened on January 6th, 2021. They dissed our questions. They refused to answer them. They neglected them. And then a lot of people, including the Huffington Post, including Liz Cheney, called those of us who were asking the questions nutcases, and that we were crazy for even asking them. Well, now it appears we weren't so crazy after all. We had perfectly legitimate reasons.
Remember, all of our everything that we got called conspiracy nuts over. For the past 8 years, those 90% of those conspiracies turned out to be facts.
Yeah. This is why I hate being called paranoid, because I'll say something, everybody's like, oh, you're paranoid, that's true. Everybody's like,
Right.
well, you know, everybody's right sometime. No, bitch, I
Yeah,
know.
I've been right more than I've been wrong.
Yeah.
Reasons to ask the questions, and the questions are not what Liz Cheney and the Huffington Post wanted us all to suppose.
Yeah, remember Liz Cheney, when they, Mike Lee had appointed people to sit on that January 6th report, Republicans, to sit on the January 6th panel. And Nancy Pelosi refused to seat them. She personally picked Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, two people who absolutely hated Trump, to sit on that committee. So as far as I'm concerned, personally, that entire committee was made up of Democrats. Those two Republicans weren't there as Republicans. They were there to support the anti-Trump opinion that whole panel was designed to set up. And they destroyed all their records afterwards.
Yeah, you know what? If there's ongoing investigation and you're destroying records, you need to be held liable to that. That's crazy.
I see. I'm even against elected officials being allowed to delete tweets.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't be allowed to delete evidence. That's crazy.
They're not, they should not be allowed to destroy anything that was done under their official capacity.
Yeah.
Or as they were an elected official. I don't care if they did it, if their tweet account was their personal account or their official account. Sorry, you're talking politics, you're talking positions, you're talking about other elected officials. You should not be allowed to delete it. I don't care how you tweeted that out. All right, you should, and records should never be allowed to be destroyed. But they did.
Yeah, let's look at that tweet because Liz Cheney tweeted at you in the middle of it all when you questioned whether or not the FBI had secret people in the. We don't really know, what those people were doing. But here's the tweet from Liz Cheney. Hey, Mike Lee, heads up, a nutball conspiracy theorist appears to be posting from your account when you posted that you wanted to know more about who was in the crowd and whether or not anyone was from the FBI. Now, they've been talking about a potential pardon, a preemptive pardon for Liz Cheney. Does she need to be pardoned for some reason?
Look, I don't know. I can't know what she knew at the time. But what I do know is this. It's very strange that she would call people who are raising these questions, nut jobs, nut cases, whatever it is that she wanted to say, when she herself, as a member of this January 6th investigative committee, had access to a lot of information. This begs the question, did she know, in fact, that what Mr. Horowitz put out recently in the Inspector General report, did she know this already? If so, why was she out there calling into question the sanity of anyone even raising the question? As far as these preemptive pardons go, it's really...
Yeah, I mean, Liz Cheney lied while under oath. That's my gut feeling. And just remember, if you accept a presidential pardon, like what they're talking about here, that is an admission of guilt. It's right there. And I did not realize that until a couple, what was it, 2 weeks ago when we were going over I even forgot about that until just now. A little side story here. About with Biden's pardons and clemencies that he handed out. One of the clemency, and full story here, one of the people that got the clemency was a Chinese spy. And the reason why he was in jail was he had thousands of child porn.
Whoa.
Thousands of child porn on his computer. And that's what he was in jail for, in prison for.
He should be under the jail, not in it.
And Biden gave him clemency to get him out of jail and return to China in a prisoner swap to get back one of our citizens. So I'm being honest about the whole thing here. That it was to get one of our people back. But the guy he gave clemency to was found with thousands of pictures of child porn.
Ugh.
Hopefully the Chinese take as dim a view on it as we do.
So look at it like this. Under Trump, his last year in office, it's like last 6 months at least, it's like every week another fucking ring was being busted and broken up. It was always in the news. Under Biden, these people are being released. So, just saying, just take a look.
So anyway, Liz Cheney, what did you do wrong? What crimes did you commit that Biden is consider giving you a presidential pardon for.
Can he give a pardon for something that was committed but not prosecuted?
Well, he pardoned his son for all crimes committed and not yet found.
That's my. Oh, so you can do
You
that. I
know,
did not know that.
well, they don't. It hasn't. That has never happened before.
Oh, wow.
So the validity of it has
needs to
not
be
been.
investigated.
The validity of it has not been up before the courts yet, before the Supreme Court, because that's where it's going to end up, before the Supreme Court. Can a president?
So.
Can a president pardon somebody? Such a blanket pardon that anything that they did over a 10-year period,
No, man, you should have to
known
name the
or
crime they're being
unknown,
pardoned for.
you know, I'm like you, it's like, hey, wait a second, before you can pardon him for something, we should, it should be
What is this mystery
explicit
crime?
in the pardon what he's being pardoned for. You just don't say you just don't say, hey, anything he may have done over this 10-year period, I'm giving him a pardon for. You can't prosecute him for anything.
Right.
So.
Oh my God.
Really is interesting how many people are put on this list. It makes me wonder whether that's actually going to happen or whether this is sheer speculation. But if it's not speculation, who else is on the list? I would really like to know that.
Well, did she destroy evidence?
So, okay.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we know she destroyed evidence. Okay, now, but you see, here's another person that's.
I wonder if being too stupid to obey the law is a legit reason to remove someone from their position. I'm sorry.
Here's a guy that you normally would not expect to be
illegal activity during.
Oh, hello.
The report says most of the informants engaged in illegal activity during the chaos. The Justice Department says only 3 of its 26 informants present had been instructed to observe potential domestic terrorist suspects on the day of the riot. The rest of the 23 appear to have gone to the Capitol on their own accord. Upon hearing news of the report, Vice President-elect J.D. Vance posted the following on X, quote, "For those keeping score at home, this was labeled a dangerous conspiracy theory months ago," end quote. So 23 folks for the FBI were in the crowd. And we're just finding that out. Didn't hear anything about that for the election.
No, we knew it back then.
Didn't hear anything about that when the quote-unquote insurrection was broached by Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee, by President Biden before her, by Democrats in both the House and the Senate as they articulated the belief that Donald Trump was a danger to democracy and using this as a profound, illuminating bullet point to make that case.
And I'll never understand how the Democrats thought they could get away with that when Trump told them to peacefully and to obey the law.
I think they were dependent on Biden. Whatever, man.
But the media went and twisted everything up so badly, But anyway, let's go back to Stephen Smith. You would never expect to hear Stephen Smith being on this side, saying this. I was shocked when I saw this.
And now here we are yet again finding even more evidence to Donald Trump's claims when he articulated that process is rigged, the Democrats are this or that, they're talking about us, but look at what they do. We don't know all the details. It's a report. Justice Department comes out with this. That's not my big issue. My big issue is that I'm really, really sick and tired of every time I turn around finding something else that the Democrats have lied about or downplayed or misrepresented along the way.
got to appreciate Smith for saying that. Now, to the actual report itself, and here is a link to the actual report. And it's quite lengthy, as these reports usually are. And I know, I knew that would actually fit because it's a short link. And the report is quite lengthy, but what it boils down to is this area right here. We determined that 3 confidential human sources, that's what the CHS stands for, have been tasked by the FBI field offices in the days leading up to January 6th, requiring approval of the WFO to travel to D.C. for the events, to report on domestic terrorism subjects who were possibly attending the event. Specifically, one field office tasked a CHS to travel to D.C. to report on the activities of a predicted domestic terrorism subject who was separately planning to travel to D.C. for January 6th. A second FBI field office tasked a CHS to travel to D.C. to potentially report on 2 domestic terrorism subjects from another FBI field office who were planning to travel to D.C. for the events on January 6th. And a third, this one was confusing. A second office tasked a confidential human source to travel to D.C. to report on 2 domestic terrorism subjects from another FBI field office. So these guys from Field Office 2 was spying on Field Office 3.
Oh.
Okay? Wrap your mind around that one.
Oh, yeah, I see you.
One FBI office was spying on another FBI office because they thought that they had 2 domestic terrorists working in that other office. And a third CHS who had informed their handler that they were intending to travel to D.C. on their own initiative was similarly tasked by their field office to potentially report on 2 subjects from yet another field office. So 2 of the 3 that were there with the knowledge of their handlers were there spying on other FBI agents. Wow. They were there. 2 of the 3 were there to spy on other FBI people. Wrap your stupid mind around. I mean, it took me a while to wrap my mind around that this morning. I'm sitting here drinking my second cup of coffee, reading this report. And I'm trying to wrap my mind around that. Our review concluded that none of these 3 were authorized to enter the Capitol or to a restricted area or to otherwise break the law, nor was any CHS directed by the FBI to encourage others to commit illegal acts. Okay, so they're just talking about those 3. In addition to these 3, we found that 23 other FBI CHSs were in D.C. on January 6th in connection with events. None of these were authorized to enter the Capitol or restricted areas or otherwise break the law, nor was any were directed by the FBI to encourage others to commit illegal acts. Now, we already know Ray Epps and others were there. I don't believe that for a heartbeat. I really don't. I mean, we know the FBI, like the Whitmer, the quote unquote Whitmer kidnapping scenario. Everybody but 3 people involved with that were FBI agents. Come on, get real. There's been cases brought up there where there'd be 5 or 6 people involved, and 4 of them were FBI agents. Only 1 or 2 were normal people. Reid determined that 26 CHSs who were in D.C. in connection with the events January 6th entered the Capitol during the riot. 26, or no, out of 26, 4 entered the Capitol. So 4 of them broke the law. 4 of the 26. In addition, 13 entered the restricted area. Those 13
Is there
broke
anything
the law.
stopping them?
Probably not, because we
I don't
saw.
see how it could be a restricted area if there's no barrier to it. I don't know.
Well, remember
I'm
they
weird
had
like that.
Remember they had uniform officers there opening doors, unlocking doors, and letting people in.
That's my point.
Which was a security perimeter established in preparation. Okay, 9 neither entered a restricted area or entered the Capitol or otherwise engaging in illegal activity. Now here's the kicker: none of the CHSs. Oh, come on! None of the CHSs who entered the Capitol or restricted area have been prosecuted. "17 of their people, of these confidential human sources, broke the law. They know they broke the law. They weren't told that they were allowed to do this stuff. And none have been prosecuted. I wonder why. Why didn't the FBI prosecute them? Why weren't they arrested and handcuffed like everybody else?
Because just like the post office tells me every time they don't put my package in the box, we have investigated ourselves and found ourselves non-guilty of any wrongdoing.
Yep.
I mean, I got a problem now because I got 2 packages from eBay that said they were delivered, and I know they weren't. And I mentioned it to the seller, and she's like, "Don't make me contact eBay." Like, I'm not making you do anything. I just want to let you know, as a seller, your packages are not being delivered. So you need to take that up with the post office. She got really super mad. I don't know why. I wasn't accusing her or anything. I just wanted to let her know what happened. Shit. I was doing her a favor. I don't know what's going to happen now. Like, what do I even do at that point?
So there's a lot more to this whole thing. Like, one of the CHSs was in contact with the leadership for the Oath Keepers.
Oh.
They're still going after the Oath Keepers.
Of course they are.
And I almost joined the Oath Keepers because, when they first started up, being retired military, I've sworn that oath. So I considered it briefly. And then it was like, nah, I don't like joining groups. I don't. I don't like joining groups. They bother me. I just don't like it. There's a young lady on TikTok that I follow. Okay.
Oh,
She's 33 years old and looks 14.
oh my God, be careful.
Okay. And
She's a narc.
she's British, lives in the UK.
Okay.
Okay. And she always cosplays as an
Of course
elf.
she does. Oh my fucking God. Elf on the Shelf? I'd rather Snoop on the Stoop. I'm not going to lie.
And her job is a remote work job. She does it from home.
Oh my God, please. No.
Okay. And she's single. Yeah. And she was complaining that, she goes, my job, if other than going groceries, I've got no reason to leave my house because I work from home. And my whole life is involved around my computer, because I work from home and, on my computer.
Same.
And then I spend, my free time on social media. And other than going grocery shopping, I don't have to leave the house. And she's complaining about how she doesn't have any real life friends and such, and she don't know if she's, I'm 29, 30 years old. I'm not engaged. I'm not dating anyone. Yada yada yada. Your fan's going crazy on your mic.
Oh, crap.
And she, and she's like, and my only response to her, I said, your life, as such as it is, for me, is idyllic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't like going out and crowd. If I could live my life inside of my house, other than going grocery shopping, I would do it. If I could earn my $900 a month from inside my home and not having to go out and meet and be with people,
I got a pretty good life. I'm not gonna lie.
I would be happy. I've had too much contact with people since I've worked in the service industry since 1998.
I gave that up. I'm so glad.
When I retired out of the Air Force. I've been in the service industry in one form or another since then. Either working as a store manager, insurance agent, or working in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to deal with people. And I got to tell you, I'm tired of dealing with people.
Mm-hmm.
I am absolutely, I'm tired of, people are mean. People are ignorant. It's like I said yesterday, when they leave the house, they leave their brains, manners, and common sense sitting in a jar somewhere.
People don't know how to act right anymore.
No, there's no politeness. And I'm tired of dealing with people. I'm just tired. I'm not even going to, we're having our Christmas party on Friday.
Yeah, you're not going to that.
I'm not going. I'm going to, the wife and I talked about it last night. All right. I'm going to bake bread for my Christmas gift that I'm giving to the person whose name was left for me. I'm going to bake 2 loaves of bread and buy a jar of strawberry rhubarb a jar of strawberry rhubarb jelly and put in a bag and give it to them. That's going to be their Christmas present. Their $20 max limit Christmas present. The wife and I talked about, would somebody get mad, or should somebody be offended that they got homemade baked goods instead of something store bought? And I'm going to bake two different types of bread. I'm going to bake one that's a sandwich loaf, and I'm going to bake one that's a toast that you have to toast it to enjoy it.
Okay. Bring it on.
So your mic, man, you're sitting right in front of your fan or something.
No,
But
breakfast. Okay, that's done. Yay! Oh shit! I'm sorry.
okay, so
No.
but this is I'm going to share something now that is one of the reasons why I'm tired of dealing with people.
Oh, I want to hear
All right.
this.
This is off of Twitter
It
or off
takes a
of
lot
X.
to set you off.
This is off of X.
Oh God.
Okay. Now Liam Neeson posted, I've never been so excited to read an obituary in my entire life. This is about the Russian general that got blowed up.
Uh-oh.
Okay. These are the responses to his post. I'm so sick of him, his comb over, his orange sloppy makeup, the raspy whine of his voice, and all of his idiotic pronouncements of revenge fantasies and vindictive spite.
Okay.
No, they've made this about Trump. A Russian general gets blown up, and this person makes it about Trump.
Because it's all about Trump. Everything is.
MJ down the shore. Okay. Now, this next person takes this photograph of a soldier.
Uh-oh.
And, this is, people do this where they take and put their own verbiage.
Yeah.
Right? I've never stood in front of a grave and gave a thumbs up with a big smile, but if I live longer than he does, it could happen. Again, they're referring about Trump. All right. Then somebody posts this. A casket with the McDonald's logo on it, and all the quarter pounders. Again, about Trump.
People must be really fucking jealous. That's all I'm saying.
Just practicing. He's dead.
Oh my God. Like why?
Then if Trump is gone before I wake, I pray to God the news ain't fake.
That kind of sounds threatening. Really?
You might not like Donald Trump, but you have to admit he has the most anticipated obituary in the history of the United States.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
These things, they just absolutely, people who post this stuff and supposedly Republicans are the party of hate. Supposedly the Republicans is the party of hate, but look at these people.
Right.
With Christmas coming, to be extra careful. The roads are quiet. A lot of guys will be having a few drinks and letting their wives drive.
I don't drive. I'm a woman, so.
When the wife and I go anywhere, the wife drives.
All right.
We take her vehicle, her Honda Pilot, and she drives.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there, and I sit there, and it's taken me years to quit thinking there were brake pedals on my side of the car.
Yo, really? Really?
He's not wrong.
Oh my God.
He's not wrong. Because she's one of these people that waits to the last second to brake.
That's what I do when my ex-husband drives.
She sees the red light in front of us.
And thinks it's for other people?
And rather than take her foot off the gas and let the car slow down naturally,
no.
She waits until the last second to hit her brakes.
Oh my God.
And now, she keeps driving whatever speed she was going and then hits her brakes rather than let the car decelerate normally on its own.
Damn.
And one of these days, I'm going, her brakes, may fail. And she's going to hit that car doing 45 or 55 miles an hour in front of her that's sitting there parked.
That happened to me.
That happened to our son.
Well,
a car I had just bought him. He didn't have that car 2 weeks. And he's sitting at a stop sign, and a woman nailed him.
Dude, you know what? I took my car to the mechanic for inspection because I didn't feel right. Something wasn't right. And they said, you need your brakes replaced. And I was like, okay, how much? And it was reasonable. My ex talked about they just want money. Your brakes are fine. Just get them whatever service. Don't have them replaced. Blah blah blah. They just want to get your money. And what do you think happened? We were going Christmas shopping a few years ago, and my brakes fucking failed because I listened to that mother. Then he's saying, "Oh, I never said that. I never told you not to get your brakes fixed." Standing there in the shop yelling about how they're just trying to get money out of me. You believe this?
Well, we go to the same shop. The wife and I use the same mechanic, and we've been using them now for, we've actually gone through 2 sets of mechanics that have retired on us. So we're on our 3rd mechanic.
Oh no.
This guy worked for our previous mechanic. When the previous mechanic retired, he sold his business to this guy.
Okay.
All right. And the guy's making monthly payments to him to pay off the bit, until he's completely paid off.
Okay.
All right. Now, I think the business went for almost $1 million.
Hey.
But a good when mechanics charge $100 an hour.
Yeah. Mechanics, plumbers, electrician, man, they're making hand over fist lately. They got the trip, the visit charge, and then labor, and then whatever, man. It's ridiculous now.
Yeah, like the wife wanted me to call a plumber out because our bathtub was draining slow and couldn't figure out what was going on.
Instead of a plumber, man, it'll be a lot cheaper.
Well, no, I just went and bought a snake.
Okay.
And
fix the problem?
And that fixed the problem.
All right.
In fact, it drains better now than it did when we bought the house.
Okay.
So it had at least 6 years worth of gunk build up in the pipes. Oh, I'm just saying 6 years worth of gunk. I go and describe what I pulled out of it.
Thank you.
Because it was nasty.
I gotta have my handyman come in March and replace the other faucets because they don't match. I had one set of faucets replaced, and they don't match now. So one side looks really nice, and the other side looks really crap. So yeah, I gotta have him come by.
You know, Sheila, I didn't want to talk about that yet today.
Oh, or ever.
Okay.
Gross.
You know, I really didn't want to talk about that today. So,
Oh, my ex-husband, he told me, now he always does this. I'll find somebody to do something really cheap, and he'll go, no, I got somebody who'll do it cheaper or better or whatever. So he told me months ago, don't get my water heater replaced and don't get this done. I need to get stuff done so I can use my dishwasher has been sitting in the middle of the living room for like a year. Okay? And he's like, no, don't do this, don't do that, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, fine. So my daughter pipes up the other day because he came to see the kids, and she's like, are you going to replace the dishwasher? She's like, oh, you haven't done it? You told me not to. He's like, well, what about the water heater? You told me not to do that either. You said you were going to have somebody come out, and he acts all confused like you never said it. It's like I'm watching him go through his second fucking childhood. Like he doesn't remember saying anything to me. It's his apartment. I mean, I just live there.
right.
So he can say, don't have this done. That's fine. If he wants to do it, do it. I don't need to spend my money in your friggin' apartment. I was ready to do it though. Because this guy was going to be like $500 cheaper. No. Whatever. I just want my dishwasher installed.
Well, like I was telling the wife and I were talking last night, and I said, hey, I do remember I still owe you that caramel apple pull apart bread.
Oh.
And she looked at me and said, I hadn't forgotten about it. I've still got everything I need to make it, but we've got so much other stuff here that we need to eat first.
She hasn't forgotten. She's just keeping a mental list. I love that.
And she's like, okay. I said, when you quit buying cookies and other stuff, and when all these cookies that you bought us are gone, then I will make that. Then I'll make it because I'm going to make, because it'll take us a week to eat it.
Okay.
And I'm not going to make it and then have it sit around for 3 weeks because we got all this other junk in the house to eat.
It feels like Friday, or it feels like the day before Friday to me. I don't know why.
Well, because it's Tuesday.
It's probably because Christmas is so close. I haven't wrapped the damn thing yet. I just got a pile of boxes in the corner.
The wife's wrapped all the gifts for the kids and grandkids. I just gotta wrap hers.
I'm lazy. I never started buying those stick-on bows till a few years ago. Now they're a staple.
I told her, I said, you're not allowed in my closet. She goes, I'm not. I said, no, you're not allowed in my closet because all your gifts are in my closet.
When you say it's funny, if it were anybody else, I would immediately be suspicious. I'd be like, you got a secret staircase to the basement going on there?
The closet in the master bedroom is literally, it's a good thing I don't have a bunch of clothes. All right. Because for hang up clothes, it's got maybe 3 feet of space.
Oh no.
Maybe 3 feet of space.
What you all got in there?
Okay. No, that's the size of the closet. Okay. The master closet is small. That's why the Diva Den, its closet is almost 8 foot long. So that's her closet. Well, that's one of her 2 closets.
Oh my God.
Okay, she's got the spare bedroom, which we've turned into our pantry. Okay. She's got that closet full of her clothes too. Oh, Jesus. Well, she's got her winter clothes, her spring clothes, and her summer clothes.
To me, there's no difference between spring and summer. It's all hot.
And she just, as it starts getting cold, she starts bringing clothes from the winter closet to the closet that she's wearing out of.
Oh man. It's not
And
even
then,
cold.
she
It's like
she
the
just
70s.
well,
The other day it was
she-
85. I was surprised.
yeah, it's supposed to hit 70 here today. I hope it does.
I hope it does, but I don't believe it will.
But I mean, I'm going to be honest. Anything under 72 degrees, and I start getting chilly anymore.
Uh-huh.
Oh, Spanky's having a wild dream. He's sitting here running and laying on his side. He's got all four paws moving,
Oh, what a good boy.
twitching away.
Don't you judge. He can't help being part demon.
Oh, Spanky is mad at me right now.
Don't you talk any trash about that good boy.
No,
Watch out, Mr. Shroom.
He's mad at me because I'm not fixing his breakfast the way he likes it right now.
Oh, you need to straighten that out.
No,
Don't ask so
because
much.
because I've been mixing treats in with his breakfast
Yeah.
for a while, and at first he was eating everything, and then he got to the point where he was pushing all the kibble out and just eating the treat.
Oh my God. Hey, it's Christmas, man. Give him a
So now I've got him back to straight kibble with a little bit of beef broth on it. And that's all. There's no treat mixed into his food. And he's mad at me. I mean, because he's sitting there and he goes over and sniffs it and he looks at me and he walks. He throws his head up in the air and walks away. He eventually gets hungry enough that he goes back to eat it. Because that's all that he's, that's all. He doesn't get no more food, just like a child. When your plate's clean up, then I'll put fresh food down for you. But that food's going to stay there. You get no more until your plate's clean. So, speaking of that, I got to check the cat's feeder, make sure it's filled up. I don't need him coming back at 3:00 in the morning and using my face for sharpening post because he was run out of food. Smokey's never been declawed, and he's learned that he can wake me up using his claws.
Man, if you feel like you gotta declaw your cat, you shouldn't have a cat. That's cutting part of their fingers off, man.
A lot of vets won't declaw cats anymore.
Good. It's savage.
But an indoor cat, now if a cat's going indoor outdoor, which Smokey was up until a few years ago, indoor outdoor, then yeah, you do need to keep their claws intact.
Yeah.
But if he's going to be strictly but if they're going to be strictly an indoor cat, there's no reason to keep their claws. But that's got to be decided when they're a kitten. Once they're full grown, that's too late to declaw them.
That's horrible. Yeah.
It's like, sorry, I'm not going to do that to a full grown cat. And Smokey was full grown by the time we moved him to being a strictly indoor cat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he is. Well, any last words? It's after 11, and I got things I got to do today before I go to work tonight.
I got nothing.
All right. Well, Sheila, thanks for coming out. Josh, thanks. Neil, thank you. We're going to head on out down the road. Be back on Thursday unless something major happens between now and tomorrow. But everybody have a good day. As always, be with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. We'll see you on Thursday. Later, all.